చూసేదే చెప్తుందా ఓకేనా స్టార్ట్ చేసి హాయ్ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ students, this is for you today. As I am unable to take class for you people, so I am showing you a brief video on POPQ classification. So this is a case of prolapse, uterovaginal prolapse. As you can see here it is a minimal urethrocele, this is a cystocele, this is a cervix, you can see posteriorly, this is the rectocele. Okay, so complete uterovaginal prolapse. Now we have different classifications like Shaw's classification, Beden-Worker-Sape classification, and POPQ classification. POPQ classification is most rampant and most commonly used nowadays. So I'll show you the POPQ classification of measurements of uterine prolapse. So coming initially, usually if you reduce the prolapse, everything lies inside the vagina. So then the measurements will come as plus. As it is already a prolapse, as you can see, usually we should have a complete valsalva manure. Under valsalva manure we examine. Here this is a cervix and this is cystocele. In POPQ classification we take hymen as a referring point. This is the hymen point. Here you can see this is the hymen. Okay, this is considered the reference point. From here only we measure as plus or minus. So there are 9 points in POPQ. That is A. After examining this, so midline, whatever the first point comes in the midline, that is A. Most dependent part on the anterior wall is BA. That can be here. Here this is the most BA dependent part. Dependent part into what you can see without pressure and coming out, this will be the BA. This is the midpoint from the hymen AA, the midline midpoint, that is A. Okay, the same measurements will be on the posterior side from the hymen AP and the most distant point BP. Okay, so coming to the measurements now. So considering it as a hymen as a standard point, we take here, see here you can see the pop sticks. Usually pop sticks, as we don't have a pop sticks, we have converted iris spatula to measure the length of the prolapse. So iris spatula gradings, here you can see 0 which comes at the level of the hymen, and minus is when it is inside and plus when it is outside. Okay, so after this we are here, from here we are measuring. So it is not minus, it is already outside, so it is more than 2 plus A point, and BA point is 4 plus. Usually BA point will be the most distant part, BA plus total vaginal length in a case of prolapse. The normal total vaginal length in a normal reproductive age group is 8 centimeters, and it may be reduced to 6 to 8 centimeters in a menopausal group. So total vaginal, so if we see the total vaginal length, it is measured always after reduction of the prolapse to have the complete length or to have a proper length. No, if it is a complete prolapse where you are not able to reduce, total vaginal length is always reduced because the vaginal wall is all lying outside. So this is all the vaginal wall, both the posterior and the anterior. So there is a prolapse. So this is a point on the posterior wall referring to the hymen. Midline point will be AP. The most distant point, dependent point will be BP. So from the hymen, if you measure, you can see here it is where is the most distant point. As you can see, this is the most dependent point. So from the hymen it is around 3 centimeters. Okay, From here, again from the hymen, BP will be 4 centimeters. So plus 4 centimeters. Now coming to the genital hiatus. What is genital hiatus? It is the area measured from the midpoint of the urethra. From here, from the middle of the urethra to the midpoint of the hymen. So this will be the length of the genital hiatus. Usually it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 centimeters it is. Usually in a case of prolapse it is increased. The size of the genital hiatus is more. Coming to the perineal body. This is the perineal body. It is measured from the midpoint of the posterior border of the hymen till the middle of the anal canal. Okay. This is the posterior part of the hymen from here to the middle of the. So it is roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimeters. What is the normal length of the perineal body? Usually it is 2 to 4 centimeters. It is reduced in a case of menopausal and such a prolapse cases. Even 0.5 centimeter thickness also we have seen such cases. Okay. Now coming to the total vaginal length. Usually the total vaginal length in a case of uterine prolapse is decreased. How? See, after reducing, this is the total vaginal length. How much it should be? Usually it should be 8 centimeters. But here it is only 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters. Okay. So it is reduced total vaginal because all of the vaginal wall is lying outside. If there is a bulge on the anterior wall, on the upper third, it is a upper 1/3. Usually it constitutes the urethrocoel. Middle 1/3 to 2/3, it will be a cystocele. If there is a lateral bulge, it is a lateral cystocele. If it is a central bulge, it is a central cystocele. If there is a bulge in the posterior vaginal wall, in the upper 1/3, it is enterocele. Lower 2/3 bulge will be a rectocele. What will be there in the enterocele and rectoceles? In enterocele, you have bowel and omentum because of defective posterior vaginal wall. In case of rectum, rectocele, the rectum is prolapsed into the vaginal wall. So that forms a rectocele. Okay. This is the brief description of POPQ classification. Any doubts will further clarify in the future videos. Thank you. This is the point C, which I forgot to tell. Point C, that is corresponding to the cervix. So it is lying almost 3 to 4 centimeters outside the hymen. So C point will be +4. Okay. D. D is nothing but the distalmost point on the posterior vaginal wall. That corresponds to the total vaginal length. So here D point will be around 6 centimeters. Roughly, if you measure. Where is it? Actually, if you see with this. From here, this will be the total vaginal wall. D point. Okay. It will be almost 4 centimeters. It is reduced. But in normal reproductive age group, it will be around 8 to 10 centimeters. It corresponds to the posterior fornix on the posterior vaginal wall. Point D. Okay. Thank you.